You're watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another episode of Takeshi Tuesdays. Today we'll be talking about Boiling Point, Takeshi Kitano's second movie that he directed. Boiling Point was released back in 1990, and runs for a total of 96 minutes. The movie itself was the first movie to incorporate Takeshi's dark humor into his films, with Violent Cop not really having any. But with Boiling Point, the original title in Japanese is 3 to 4X Jugatsu, which was the final score of the baseball game that the movie is focused on. Jugatsu meaning October, so it means 3 to 4 October. But it was changed to Boiling Point for American audiences, and other English-speaking areas, obviously. Boiling Point is a movie about a baseball team who gets threatened by the Yakuza, and so two of the players decide to go and find another Yakuza guy to basically try and scare the other Yakuza off so that they'll be fine. So they go searching for basically a more dangerous thug than the thugs that are threatening them. That's where they meet Takeshi's character, who is fucking psychotic. There's a part where they're sitting in a bar and he just keeps repeatedly bashing this guy who's already unconscious over the head with bottles and breaking them on him while his girlfriend screams, begging him to stop. There's also a scene where his character makes this guy have sex with his girlfriend, and then while that guy's fucking Takeshi's character's girlfriend, Takeshi's character comes and starts fucking him from behind. And then after that, he then shoots that guy for fucking his girlfriend, even though he forced him to do it. It's really bizarre. The movie itself is interesting, I'll give it that. And I still enjoyed it, but I will say, out of all of the Takeshi Kitano movies I've seen so far, this was by far my least favorite. I didn't hate it. Like I said, I did enjoy it quite a bit, and it is a Takeshi movie, and it still plays out in much the same way that his movies typically do. I think had I been more familiar with his work, I might have been more into it, because, again, it was only the second movie of his I'd seen, so I wasn't used to the slow, static scenes where almost nothing is happening. It's still a good movie. It's just very slow. I mean, granted, like I said, most of his movies are, and that's not usually a detriment to it, but it's just kind of weird. And I'm not going to pretend that he doesn't have other weird movies out there, because he does. But this one didn't really do it for me in the same way that, say, Violent Cop, Sonatine, or Outrage did. But it was still an interesting movie, and I'd still highly recommend giving it a watch. Other than that, the character that Takeshi plays does have his own ulterior motives for helping the two baseball players, because he actually wants to get revenge on the Yakuza gang that's threatening them anyway. And so it again turns into a revenge movie at the end, as a lot of his movies do. And again, it ends with a shootout, as a lot of his movies do. Granted, the shootout isn't the very final scene, the baseball game plays after that. Since this was the movie to introduce his comedy into it, I think that's probably why it isn't as good as how it was used in some of his later films. I think the film that really did his comedy the best was probably Sonatine, just because I really liked the way it was implemented in that. But other than that, I'd highly recommend checking out Boiling Point. Like I said, if there was going to be one of his directorial movies you skipped, this would be the one I recommend you skip, but I don't recommend skipping any of them because I do enjoy them all quite a bit. But this has been Fugitive Red-Eye, and I'll see you next Takeshi Tuesday.
Subscribe to Fugitive Red-Eye.